Welcome back to Framing the Force. Before the break, we discussed our overall thoughts on season 1 of The Acolyte. Now we want to dive into the season finale that aired earlier this week. Robbie, how did you feel about the finale, and did it help the season for you?
I think it pretty much stuck the landing. I mean, I was happy with what we got. It definitely helped wrap up the season pretty well. It answered a majority of the questions, left you enough for a season 2. But I was happy with what we got. I would have made a couple changes and some story points, but overall, I'm satisfied. I enjoyed it a lot. My favorite episode was still episode 5, though. But I definitely,
Yeah,
this is probably number 2 for me.
I would have to agree with that. I think that it felt like kind of weird for the pacing at the beginning of the episode. I think that the like space sequence between May, whenever May is escaping from Seoul, like that
Hmm.
all was phenomenal. ILM does not
Hmm.
miss. So like that was really cool, and I do like how narrowed it became with like really focusing in on Seoul and Osha and May and Kamir, and really like bringing them all back together. And I thought that also the set of the destroyed, I don't know, did their
The
lodging have a
mining
name?
facility, I
Yeah,
think
like
it was like
what?
a mining facility,
Okay, yeah,
like
like
the witch coven
yeah.
hut.
I think that it looked better as a set destroyed. I was like, oh, this is how it was like meant to be. Like they
Yeah, no, it
definitely
looked
did.
real. I really did enjoy the remnants of that the structure.
Yeah, so I thought that that was really cool and looked great, and bringing them all back there was, I think, a really smart
Cool way to,
decision. Yeah,
yeah.
and like was just nice to like see, and again, it just like focus in on those characters and really like spend the time with them. I do still feel like May's character, this was a problem that I had like throughout the season. Like her character like just moves like emotionally, like back and forth and like through things like
Hmm.
super super quickly, and I'm like, I'm not, like, you're not really given the time to like.
And I mean, even OSHA, I feel like that's the thing. We missed so much. Like if we had 10 more minutes per episode, that development we could have had. Like you're saying with May and just all of her decisions, which is absolutely like I agree.
It was like, I
But
need to make this decision now so that the thing in the story can happen based on me making this
right,
decision now. Like,
what bothered me just slightly more than May was, and I don't mind them together, the OSHA Kamir thing. I don't mind them together, but
mhm,
that was just like snap of a finger, like, hey, we're cool now.
yeah, yeah. I think that I think we spent. I see. I feel like hers was a little bit better for me because I felt like we spent more time with her, see, like on the journey to
Right.
dark
She
side,
had
and
definitely more screen time.
yeah, and more. She had more screen time that wasn't her flipping between what she's going to do next.
Right.
Like she's really like
You
she's
actually
pretty.
get to spend time with her and see how she's kind of developed with these lies or what end up being lies. And
Yeah,
you kind of get a sense of who she is as a character,
and she has
at
a
least.
more consistent goal. Like we see her with more. She's not like constantly changing what exactly
Right.
she's going to be doing, and settling on something, which is nice. But yeah, I like both of them. I felt like are a little bit rushed at different parts and
Hmm.
could have been developed a bit more. I liked where they were ending things in the finale, like with the three of them, and I thought that they maybe the three of them were. I don't understand exactly why
I
May had to be left.
really wish they just killed her.
Yeah, the
Like that
mind
would have
wipe
just
thing is
made sense from
weird.
a Sith perspective.
Yeah,
Like just get rid of her because I don't know, the mind wipe thing, it it's not necessary. Like Kamir even said, like, I could try. So
yeah.
like it's not a guarantee or anything.
It also
And
just
it's
feels
just a
the most.
Jedi loose end. And now who's hanging out with the Jedi? Just
Yeah,
kill her.
that, and I also feel like it's the most like uh abusive option, honestly. Like it's very, like, even though she obviously is like, yeah, like do this, and was aware of it, it feels not good to do that to someone. Which I mean, I know
Mhm.
it's the Sith doing it, so they're the bad guys, and that's fine. But they're also still leaving her alive out of and like it's her sister, so it's just this weird thing where like I don't know, it didn't completely land for
But
me.
also
That
what really didn't like click with me is you're going to wipe her mind
hmm
and then separate from her.
yeah,
But on their last hug, as the mind is being wiped, or right after the mind, whenever they're hugging,
hmm
she says, "I will find you." So why are you getting rid of her in the first place?
yeah, yeah. I also did. Yeah, I that line was weird too. It's like okay, well
It,
then,
it's like just it's like if you don't want to kill her, like that's what makes me go for the more of the kill route. Like you either do the one extreme or just keep her. Why are you leaving it in a gray area with potential loose ends?
yeah, I don't really get that. It's
And
like
also, it would have been
I
it would
understand her not being dead for the show's sake, but
right.
yeah,
But also, it's that's the thing. You still have Amanda. Like you could just focus on one character with her instead of two.
hmm
I mean, she's still there. She's still gonna show up. She's got a whole other character to play.
yeah,
So I don't know. I wasn't really huge on. I would like either just stick around or like permanent bye bye. I don't know. That's the Sith in me speaking, but I think that's if she was gonna go full dark side, like you gotta get an extra kill in when you can.
yeah. I just feel like it didn't make the most sense just overall from like multiple
I
angles.
mean,
I'm like, I
if
don't.
I want to play like devil's advocate, I guess like I could see the compassion, like
Yeah, but then
loving,
like mind wiping
but
someone's not a compassionate thing to do if you
yeah,
ask
exactly.
me.
Yeah,
Like
so
I feel
okay,
like
so it's like I don't know.
that's not
I
a good
guess
option.
it's maybe just to keep OSHA going, I guess,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I don't know. I
I
did
wasn't
like
really thrilled with that conclusion.
yeah, May is weird just overall with her like
Hmm.
her character and the way that she was the whole time, and then where she's ended up in the finale. I did like Osha's fall to the dark side generally. I thought that was done well. That was
I was a fan of that. It
yeah, I
was
thought
very it had like a reason, like
yeah,
it was understandable. Just the execution, they acted like I liked it.
yeah.
I was a big fan of that. Nothing better than seeing someone fall on the dark side.
Yeah, that was great. They absolutely crushed that. And then also we got to see Kyber Crystal being bled for the first time in live action,
Hell yeah, we did.
which was pretty
That was
sick.
great.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really cool. They actually showed
And
that, and
I
I was like,
like
oh
that you could see Soul's
yeah,
crystal like
yeah,
before they really show you the blade and everything. It
hmm
was cool. I really enjoyed it because it, I was always more of a fan of the bleeding than the artificial stuff. I don't know. The artificial stuff was always kind of weird to me. So
yeah,
I was glad that they did make like a little change there with the bleeding, and I'm really happy with how it was executed, like
yeah.
on screen.
Oh, it looks awesome. It's such a cool
Yeah.
effect, and yeah, just seeing the it also just ties in so well with what like it's such a great visual representation of what's happening with her character. Like not only does it look
Hmm.
awesome and like look super cool, like there's a reason that it's tied in there
It
completely.
has that
Like
little bit of a stutter and everything, like when it goes over.
yeah,
It takes its time, but it's not really slow. Like it definitely gets to red pretty quick, but
yeah,
there's a little bit of a hesitation. No, it definitely mirrored OSHA very well.
yeah. And it's just cool to see. Like I'm a sucker
Oh yeah,
for
it
anything Kyber
was
Crystal and like
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It was gorgeous.
yeah. So that was nice. Like
Can we
that. I
talk
thought
about my boy?
yeah, that was yeah, we can talk about Plagueis. Plagueis actually showed up, which is insane. I'll let you take the
Yeah.
lead on this because you know a lot more about him than I do, actually.
So going
Were you expecting to see him in this? Like how confident were you we were going to see him?
so I wanted to see him. I found out the time frame, and bear with me for on and off throughout watching this series. I don't know why, but I would always think it was 150 years
Isn't
back.
it 150?
It's 100. Like I would alternate
I
back and forth, but
swear to God they said
that's what
150 at
I'm
one point.
saying. I thought it
There's
was
no way.
150. So it's 100. So I thought it was
Okay.
150 for the longest time. So I kind of ruled him out in the sense that like, it's a little far back,
Yeah.
but I was always 110% ready for Tenebris or
Mhm.
Tenebris, his
Yeah.
master.
Mhm.
Um, but I didn't rule out Plagueis, and I'm happy we got him. Like,
Yeah.
once I realized we're only 100 years back, I'm like, okay, I'm cool with Plagueis. Like, that's cool. No, he's gonna be a mess next season if we get it. I hope.
I mean, I feel like there's no way that we're not gonna get a season 2. And because that's part of the thing, and this is, like, sort of part of my complaint. So much of it feels like it's very much, like, setting up the story to really get into the meat of the story next season.
Hmm.
Like, not that this season wasn't good, but it's so many things I'm like, "Oh, well, that'll be extra cool in season 2." Um,
Right.
but yeah, Plagueis is super. I mean, I got hyped whenever I saw him. I was like, "Oh, they actually, like, showed him. That's
I
awesome."
actually jumped out of like I was standing. Like
Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
Yeah, so that was really cool. So he's still alive during the events of the Phantom Menace, correct?
Yeah, so he's still alive up until and it's I believe it is when Palpatine wins the chancellorship.
Okay,
But it also could be he also might die the night that Palpatine is nominated. I don't remember if it was the night that he wins or the night that he's nominated. I
okay.
believe it's the night that he wins.
But still even
Um,
like, into the Phantom
so
Menace.
he's up. He's pretty much by the time he's dead in the Phantom Menace. I would say it's after Duel of the Fates, like Palpatine arriving on Naboo. Like probably a little bit before then. He's pretty much kicking in the Phantom Menace.
That's wild.
But yeah,
How
it's
old what do you know what species he is? How old is
he's
the
he's a moon. He's a San. I think it's Sandhill, the guy in Attack of the Clones, the once Confederate guy with a big head.
Oh, yeah.
That species.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah, they have a pretty long lifespan. A couple times in the Plagueis book, like he mentions to Palpatine, like he's much older than 100 years or whatever. Like
That's
he's
pretty cool.
yeah, I believe he also mentions at some point that the length of his training under Tenebris was like a lifespan of a normal person. Like he trained a long time.
Love that.
So he I don't remember his age, and I don't know if it's ever. I don't think he has a set birthday because I think in the book it's one thing, and then there's another story about Tenebris that it
A different
contradicts
thing.
it.
Yeah.
So there's not really a set birthday. They can live really long,
Mhm.
um, and just knowing his specific interests in the dark side, he obviously tries to mess with it and extend it even more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he kicks around for a while.
That's really cool. It's so interesting and exciting to see him, like, brought into live action and, like, because he's such a
We've
big
been
he's
waiting what 19 years for this.
yeah, like, because he's such an important figure. Um, I'm very excited to see more of him. We only got, like, 2 seconds. It was, like, 3 seconds. We got his hand and then
Oh,
him.
it was a beautiful 3 seconds and enough to get me out of my seat. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah. It was cool, though. I did like seeing that. I how what in what capacity do you think that he's there? Do you think he's
Oh, I think I so
because there's a lot of questions about that because it's not,
I
there's no dialogue
think
or
they
anything whenever.
try and make it decently obvious almost.
Mhm.
Um and it seems like Leslie's really pulling from his book. So
Okay.
I think the unknown planet they're on is Baldemnik.
Mhm.
That's where the book starts. He hangs out there with Tenebris because there is a cortosis mine.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's why he is there. But in the book, they also mention, or he mentions, I don't know if he mentions it um, specifically to Palpatine. I think he does, but it just mentioned in
One
just
of the
in a
passages.
statement or whatever,
Yeah.
um, that he is well aware that there are other dark side users, that there are wannabe Sith, that there are, he addresses them as pretenders,
Hmm.
but he knows that he himself is part of the true Bane lineage, the Rule of Two lineage.
Yeah.
So in his eyes, if it ain't him or Tenebris or I guess Palpatine or whoever he may apprentice in passing, you're not a Sith. So I think I don't know if it's coincidence that they're both there, maybe because of the cortosis, but I think he is, and they operate. He operates in the shadows stealthily, like he was very much doing what he would be doing at this time. Um, so I think him lurking in the caves is not some kind of like, it's he found his prey. Like he found something that's an issue, because also just the way he sneaks out of the cave, that's a very much like if I'm gonna show Plagueis as Kamir's master, he's gonna be like, I think he's just not gonna be creeping around a corner of a cave like that.
That's a
He's
good
gonna be
point.
like kind of standing in the background in the shadows. And I think Leslie did say in an interview that, like, I saw something from an article today
Hmm.
that she is setting up Kamir and Osha. Like she's like, in the sense that like, oh, you like them or whatever, like whatever, like you want to see how their story goes and how they look so confident looking at the sunset. They like they can take on the world together, but she knows that that's not going to happen. They're going to fail because we know that it becomes, at the end of the day, Plagueis and Palpatine.